Hello everybody, welcome to Grave Mobile Gaming. Today I bring you Scorched Earth Policy and how to implement that into your gameplay and to fight a bigger alliance and win. To understand Scorched Earth Policy, we have to look at what it was and how it was used in real life and then transition that into our gameplay. So, on June 22nd, 1941, the German army invaded the Soviet Union. Stalin went on the Soviet radio and gave instructions that when forced to withdraw, the Red Army should destroy anything that could be used up to the enemy. The scorched earth policy and the formation of guerrilla units behind the German front lines created severe problems for the German war machine, which was trying to keep her 3 million soldiers supplied with the necessary food and ammunition. The Germans, during Operation Barbarossa, attacked Russia unexpectedly with a massive operation that drove deep into the Russian homeland. Russians perfected the scorched earth policy when Napoleon invaded the Russians during the Napoleonic Wars, sorry, and again during World War II when the Germans invaded. So the Germans invaded and they pushed in really far, really deep, really quickly. And the Russians were pretty much in a withdrawal all the way down to pretty much Stalingrad, right outside of Moscow and Leningrad. And they used this tactic so that the German war machine, they knew it would be vital for them to have to steal food and water and other basic necessities from the Russian people to keep their war machine moving forward. Socks, food, water, etc. When Stalin used his scorched earth policy, they couldn't get any of that stuff. So when the Soviet winter came around, most of the Germans starved and froze to death before the massive Russian counterattack that pushed the Germans back into, well, Berlin. So how do we implement this in our gameplay? I've been fighting much bigger alliances since I started playing this game back in server 541. We get a lot of bullies in this game for whatever reason. And I messed with different tactics in the beginning, and I found that this one worked very, very well. So, number one, the Scorched Earth policy. In a nutshell, is you don't want to give them resources, and you don't want to give them kills. Without those two things, it's going to be very hard for them to grow. So, first step is very simple when we're talking about a Scorched Earth policy. Use shields, give them no resources, no kills. This is what the enemy thrives on. This is how they grow. Without those two things, you're going to put a lot of pressure on them. And this is a tactic that takes a long time to actually see results. But I promise you, you will see results. Number two, turrets. Turrets in this game, and this tactic can be used in many different other games. Top War, I would not say this would work well. But if you're choking off the enemy's resources, they're going to be desperate. And they're going to try to provoke you in other ways, possibly take out your headquarters. Turrets are your new best friend. Plain and simple, my turrets have more kills than I do. Easily. You want to use your turrets and your walls to surround the primary target of the opposing alliance, whether it's your headquarters, your walls themselves, or a specific base or bases that they constantly attack. Now, if you're using shields, you don't have to worry about defending the bases with the turrets. You can defend your infrastructure, your control towers, your HQ, and your walls. These are the three things that can be destroyed by an opposing alliance. This setup right here is not my alliance. I am just here helping, so this isn't a good example. But you want to use your walls to funnel enemy troops into kill boxes if you wish. And you want your turrets to protect your headquarters first and foremost. The enemy alliance I speak of no longer attacks my headquarters because the turrets do very, very well at completely exhausting all enemy units from that player's base, no matter if they're level 33 or 25. It takes a lot of damage to take out a level 5 HQ and a lot of marches. So if you have a level 4 turret next to it, and I hope you do, each one of those turret bursts can kill up to 30% of that march. 30% of a march is 800 to 1200 units possibly per march. I've watched somebody's power go from 210 million to 184 trying to attack my HQ just from the turrets taking it out. Turrets are your best friend. Please, please use turrets in anything defensive. The other thing you do not want to do with turrets is you don't want to have to move them in a fight. You want to have them strategically placed so that they cover pretty much anything that you need to defend. Also, they do work on the other side of a wall, so you can have a turret inside a wall, and if somebody attacks your walls, the turret will shoot through the wall to hit the enemy. That's very key too. So you see how our turrets are staged at the entrances to our walls, and for the most part, protect our HQ. I would have done this a little different, but definitely make sure that you funnel all enemies into your turrets. That way you don't have to move your turrets in the middle of a battle and exhaust all your relocation points. Alright, step number 3. Extra HQs, or headquarters, or alt alliances, whichever you want to call it. So as you can see, where to go? I don't know. We have this alliance and this one. So if you're having an alternate alliance or HQ, you see how I just have 3 turrets around this alliance to protect the HQ itself. Now you can use this for one or two different ways. You can use this HQ to drop into enemy territory and take out key infrastructure, i.e., control towers. Remember, if they don't connect, it'll take them all out. So if I were to take out this control tower right here, they'll lose all that territory. Which, that's looking pretty good right now. Anyway, or you can use it as a distraction. I'm going to drop that HQ on their alt alliance and attack them, hopefully diverting their main forces, and then which I can counterattack with my main attack force on their home or HQ. Also, you can use that alternate HQ and its turrets for an extra defensive position. Say the enemy comes in, takes out all your control towers, and they're pushing onto your last one before they get to your main headquarters territory. You just plop that baby down, have the turrets defend that HQ, because remember, turrets are your best friend. And then you can place that strategically to defend your main HQ. So HQs are very important. Number 4, fighting on your terms. Attacks should be hit and run. During a scorched earth policy, guerrilla tactics were used after they had sabotaged all the resources that they could be able to retrieve. So I'm going to go behind enemy lines and I'm going to pick and choose my battles. I'm not going to fight on their terms, I fight on mine. I want to disrupt them in any way I possibly can. So you can do hit and run guerrilla tactics, or you can Pearl Harbor them with a couple people, drop in, rally, take what you need, get out of there. Always have an escape plan, because you don't want to get trapped. If you do get trapped and they're constantly hitting you, do not heal your heroes. If you don't heal your heroes, you don't lose any units. If you don't lose any units, you're not really losing anything. Don't ever go into an attack with more resources that you have that you're able to keep from your warehouse or your storage. That way they can't take any of your resources. The primary purpose of your attacking is to either gain resources or gain kills or disrupt their events, such as their raid tower, corpse defense, server invasion, whatever it may be. You want to send them into disarray, you want them confused, you want them constantly on edge, you want them off guard, you want them to not be able to focus on their primary objective, if that makes sense. Keep them busy. Always fight against them. Always fight against the wind. And like I said, this is something that takes a lot of time, and it's going to be a lot of losses on your side. You're going to take beatings every day. That's okay, because we want them to pretty much exhaust their resources, if you will. And then that's when you strike. Let's see. When you're fighting on your terms, a burn does not equal a loss. What does that mean? Well, let's see. If I get burned, but I kill more units than they killed, I take that as a win. If they burn me and I kill the same amount of units as they did, but they were tier 11s and mine were tier 10, I count that as a win. Even though I lost the battle on paper, I still won on paper, if that makes sense. Let me show you an example if I can. As you can see here, it says that I have failed. So instantly you're like, man, I lost. What am I doing wrong? That's not necessarily the case. If you go in and look at my soldiers lost, I lost 27 plus 4, so that's 31, about 3,300 units. This guy lost 41, 4,700 units. So who really lost there? He didn't get no resources. He lost 47 to my 31, 33. So losing doesn't mean that you lost. If you're killing more units or the same amount of units and they're better units than what you lost and they didn't gain any resources, I really feel like you won that battle. So a burn doesn't equal a loss. And always remember that. So if they're losing 25 to 30% more troops than you are, they're exhausting their troops faster than you are. Which is going to this all leads to tip number 5. So tip number 5, and this is the end component of all 4 steps combined, which makes this a scorched earth policy for me. It's not the same as a real war, obviously, but the best way I can implement it into the game is to make them reach for their wallets. So doing all 4 of these first steps, plus a few extra I'm about to discuss, makes them dig in their wallets. If they have to attack an HQ and get through your turrets, and they lose 20,000 units to take out your HQ, and it only costs 600 gold to build a new one, who's reaching in their wallet more? I don't even think I'm reaching in my wallet for 600 gold. I know they're reaching in their wallet for speed ups to make up for the 20,000 units lost, let alone the resources needed to make them units. So reaching in their wallets is going to be the most crucial thing you can do to a bigger alliance. And like I said, this is going to take time. This isn't something you can win in a day. It might take months, but it will work. It will get them to the point where we're going. This is costing me too much money, figuratively or literally, to fight this war. And they'll probably move to another server, which is what happened with me. It took us 3 or 4 months though, and it took a lot of dedication from my team members. And they knew this would be hard. I had to forewarn them that this was not going to be a quick and easy process. This was going to be a long, drawn out fight to the death. And they left 541. They came here and started to crap all over again, so I came to help. So, to reach in their wallets, it can consist of many different things. Buying speed ups, using speed ups, and not just the kind of build stuff, but like make them waste speed ups to get to your base and then use a shield. I haven't bought shields in I don't know how long, and I've got 422 of them. You get those free pretty much, so you don't have to buy those. Use them, make them waste those 8-hour shields. You get plenty of them from events. Make sure you're doing events so you get plenty of them, but waste those shields to make them waste teleports. Ports are very much more expensive and they're much more rarer than shields, so especially 8-hour shields. Make them waste ports. When they're not available or when they're offline, figure out when they're, what alliance you're facing. For me, they're not online during the day because they're on the other side of the planet. So during the day is the perfect time to go and attack their walls, control towers, hit their bases for resources. Those little things add up too. Gold costs 300 gold to make one wall. Take out 20 walls, you got yourself a little pocketbook there. Cause as much damage and havoc as you can. Make them reach in their wallets. Let's see. Use turrets to completely destroy their units. Even the biggest, strongest 33, that turret is going to wipe them out and exhaust their units quicker than anybody else. So let the turrets do their job. Set up traps for your turrets. You can do that with bases, trap bases. You can lure them in by having an open spot in your base that's surrounded by turrets, and hopefully they're not paying attention. There's many different ways. But get creative, funnel them into kill boxes with your walls, and also let your turrets defend your walls. If they attack your walls repeatedly and it's near a turret, that turret will hit them. So use that as well. Steal their resources. They need resources. If you're doing tip number 1 and you're staying shielded and you're not giving them resources or kills, they got to reach in their wallet. They got to go buy it from the 7-day store. They got to get it from the packages and all that stuff. Make them reach in their wallet. That will eventually lead to the destruction of their alliance. They will either A, move, collapse, or morale will just lower. I've picked up quite a few people from their alliance along the way, and, bullying has its karma. And I promise you, if you do these 5 things against a bigger alliance, you will come up on top. Just remember to start with number 1, use shields. And it's very hard to get everybody to use shields because you're dealing with a lot of casual players who don't, it's casual to them. They don't really get into the politics of it, if you will. And if they don't, make sure that they don't assign any units to defend or don't have resources to take or put a turret next to their base. Just a couple things to get around that, I guess. Let's see. A burn doesn't equal a loss. Always remember that. That's key. Turrets are your best friend. Use extra HQs to surprise attack, deceive, distract, whatever. Get creative here. But at the end of the day, make them reach in their wallets. But that's all I got for today, guys. I will come back to y'all with some more tips, tricks, and all that good stuff, some more game reviews. We'll go from there. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. Hit that share button. Tell me in the comments what y'all think about this video. If you have any other tactics that you've used that helped a lot, let me know. I've been trying to figure out some other ones. This one is the best one I've used so far, but I'm always looking for new ones. So I was thinking about creating a NATO server. Not creating, but moving to a server where we're all friendly, especially European and American server, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But yeah, just let me know what y'all think in the comments.